So now, even though we can go in here and we can measure the padding for the bottom, in general, we can assume that the padding for the top and the bottom are going to be the same. If there's any discrepancies in the design, a lot of times that's because the designer wasn't really focused on making sure that the bottom value and the top value were matched up. Over time, especially if you do some of your own designs, you'll start to get a sense of where the important design choices are and which factors don't really matter so much to the designer. So having done this many times before, I'm going to make an assumption that these two values are going to be identical. So I'm going to jump back to the browser and we'll add padding bottom down here and we'll set it to 25 pixels as well. Once we do that, our white border becomes visible. Now it goes all the way across because we haven't set our padding for either side yet. We did do that in our code right here. So let's add this over here in the browser to see what it ultimately looks like. So padding left, 121 pixels, padding right, 121 pixels. All right, so now we have that space between the edge of the section and our border on either side as well as the top and the bottom. Now the padding properties is another place where I think it makes sense to use the shorthand. So let's look at what that looks like here. I'm going to copy this, all of the padding properties, and we'll paste it in this section different selector right here. So if we wanted to make this shorthand, we'd use the padding property, and if we were going to use the long version, the first value would be the top, and then we'd rotate clockwise. So first is top, so that's going to be 25 pixels. Next is the right, which is 121 pixels. Next is the bottom, which is 25 pixels. And then the left. Again, we're moving clockwise, so that will be 121 pixels. So this is the long version. We can do an even shorter version if the top and bottom are the same and the left and right are the same. If we were going to do that one, it would be padding, and then whatever the top and bottom is, so 25 pixels, and then whatever the left and right is, which is 121 pixels. Ultimately, if all four paddings are the same, we can use the shortest version, which is padding, and then a single number. So say it was 25 pixels all the way around, we would use that. But in this case, this is the shortest we can go because the top and bottom are different than the left and right. So let's erase all the definitions we don't need. We'll save it. We'll go back to the browser and refresh. And here we go. We see our white border.